Just got on, got through that.
How's Ireland? How's Ireland? Was it good? Oh, was it really? Yes. Yep. I would say she does now. She'll say she will.
Yeah, I'll come in and show you.
Okay. Yeah, please do. I don't understand the second kind, but just like.
No, I don't know why.
It will. It may be safer if you try it safer. And then we can try it that way.
Yeah.
And you get one of this now?
Nothing yet, but.
Then send it again.
Some things are getting worse. Oh, I passed out last night. Monday night football game, Kansas City. And we were eating dinner. And I had some drink. Break, no. I said, oh my God,
on there, whatever.
it's the word breakthrough. I went, passed out for, they said, minute and a half. I don't really know. Brain freeze. What caused it? But it showed. Yeah.
So that's gonna be You can do whatever you want. Well, he's chairman of
I think it's upstairs. Hopefully the participation is getting better at night. Smoke detectors versus hardwired. That goes to fire.
For some reason, yours and mine is not. Give me try to get set live here. Get to know.
Good evening and welcome to the Monday, August 25th, 2025 meeting of the Martinsville Board of Works and Safety. Meeting is hereby called to order. Mr. Meredith, would you please call roll?
Kelly Bray. John Lillywhite. Mayor Birthday Boy Costin.
Present. It's rough being 53. Prior to tonight's meeting, you received copies of the Monday, August the 11th meeting minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
There are none for me, and I would motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. The motion carries. Mr. Porter?
Again, happy birthday to you, sir. Today was the deadline to receive bids for the Sierra Schieffer project. As of 4 o'clock, we did not receive any bids, so we're going to be getting in touch with our grant coordinator and our grant managers in the next couple of days to figure out what our next steps are, and we will get back to you with those once we've ascertained where we go from here. And I'm trying to figure out where that smoke detector is.
It's a bird that got in. Okay. Mr. Oakes?
Good evening. The last meeting, we opened the bids from JTH Construction Company, and that bid was in the amount of $84,900. We've reviewed the bid documents, and they're all in order. So we ask for your approval of contracting with JTH Construction in the amount of $84,900 for it's a restroom behind the band shell.
I do not have any questions or comments. I would motion that we approve that contract as presented and recommended by Gary.
I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. Motion goes. Thank you, Gary. Mr. Dunn?
sidewalks. We're starting week 3 of phase 4. Sidewalks, we're slamming them in pretty quick. But there's one area that we had talked about putting sidewalks. We didn't put it on in phase 4. It was called to our attention, been called to our attention several times that it really needed to be done. This area, it's the Plaza Drive, the condominiums. As you're heading east, there are no sidewalks until, well, there are no sidewalks, period. You can go all the way to Burton, there's no sidewalks. Well, our main concern is through that S-turn. People from that addition, they do walk to the plaza quite a bit. So we'd like to, just on the east side, extend the sidewalk that's already there all the way to Dr. Wells's driveway. Once you get to that point, the road, Plaza Drive, kind of widens. You really don't need sidewalks at that point. They can walk safely, but the whole idea is just to get them through that per yard that they bid and one bid on, so they're treating us right. It's the same cost. And I'm asking the board to please consider this change order. So while they're working and when they get in that area, because we're gonna light Virginia, Dale, Duo, and L, we're putting sidewalks in that area here in the next month or two. So I'd like to get that section in if we could.
I don't have any questions. I'm very familiar with the area. I think it'll be a great addition. So I would recommend that we approve the change order for Wallace Construction in the amount of $33,701.27.
I will second that motion. All in favor of the change order, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Mr. Oakes, you're back up to bat.
We're wrapping up the South Levy project, and these are some change orders we had from that. This one's a month or two old, but just now getting to it. This is change order number 3. It's in the amount of $5,561, and what this amounted to is we have a pump house that's a couple hundred yards from the end of Candace Drive, or from being able to see from the end of Hacker Road where it completes. We put a light system for visual identification of whether the pumps are on or not on. So this is a red-green light system indicating whether the pumps are running when they should be running or not running when they're not supposed to be running. So it's a red-green light system, $5,561.
Well, I would motion that we approve change order number 3 in the amount of $5,561.
I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's approved. Gary, change order number 4.
Number 4 is a big one now. The other one was only $5,000. This is the amount of change order number 4, the amount of $290,441.08. And it's a whole series of items that's included in your packet that goes from some undercutting we had to do when we found soil that was unsuitable, condition we had at the railroad track for Benton, closing it up, railroad track closure, weekend, when we worked the railroad, I should give you a little more information on that. The railroad bisects the levee on the south end, and the levees on both either side of the railroad track are about 4 foot higher than the tracks. So we have a closure procedure that we have to follow when we're alerted by the GS that the river's coming up. So we come down and we put these aluminum panels in place that make a dam across where the railroad is. So these were procedures we had to do that. We had to do that in coordination with the railroad when the train comes through on Tuesday and comes back and returns back on Wednesday. So we had to work through the weekend on that. So we have an expense for weekend concrete. We had overtime labor for weekend, those kind of things. So that's what goes with those portions that you see on there. For the panels that I just described at the railroad, we built a building to store those in down off-site, and that's a stone pad at the end of, it's Candace Court. If you were to go off the end of Candace Court, you'd immediately ahead see this small building that's got those panels stored in it. We did put a culvert down through there. We had additional stone at Candace Court, seeding and grading that we did. We restored the area off of Robin Road that we had as our construction drive, and we restored that, took the stone out, brought in sand, brought in, seeded it, brought it up to base. Number 11's an odd one there for you though. That's a manhole we ran over that wasn't on the project. Immediately next to the project boundary was a manhole that was installed 2 years ago when they did the Hacker Drive sewer. It was elevated because it has an air relief valve in it, so it stuck up a couple of feet out of the ground. But for some reason, who knows when, it was buried in dirt. So the South Levy contractor, Striegel, when he was cleaning up and just doing as I was describing a minute ago, taking the old stone out and seeding around through there, he thought this pile of dirt, so he thought he'd move it with his bulldozer. Well, turns out there was a manhole inside of that, so this is the damage done to that manhole to repair that. So, but it was not marked, it's not his fault because it was not marked on the drawings, it's not shown. He thought he was doing the right thing by cleaning up. So, we had a deduct, we decided there's no reason to paint the inside of the pump house, so it was a deduct for that. Rail panel modification, when we took those aluminum panels I described and put them in place for the very first time, we found out the middle one did not close completely because the railroad itself, the rail itself, was about an inch higher than it was supposed to be. Well, it was what it was, so we had to modify that panel to fit in. And then the biggest one is, the whole thing is security for the levee itself, to keep kids off of it, keep some trespassers that don't belong on it, especially somebody during when it's been raining and when it's soft and very vulnerable. So we've got a lot of fence closures that we're putting in on it, closures to the road, closures to the railroad tracks. So the biggest one you see here is $91,943.80 for fencing all up and down through there. So that total is $290,441.08. That's change order number 4.
So I have a couple of questions. How much fencing does $92,000 purchase?
It's more gates than it is fence. It's just a Robin Road itself. There's 220 foot of fence, closing it off at the top there, because that's if you look at an elevate map, that's shown to be a park that the Board of Works owns, and I think that's right, Dale. Is it the Board of Works that owns that one? Anyway, there's a park there, so we have to close that off completely, so they don't have access to that, because the levee dies at the south end into high ground. So you could drive right onto the levee at that point. So that's what that was for. Yeah.
So, and honestly, I have no idea how much fencing costs. And we're satisfied with this number?
Yeah, there's more than a dozen gates altogether. Yeah.
I don't know. Is a gate much more expensive?
Yeah.
Okay, the second question is, when I'm looking at the numbers, and this came up when I was reviewing this a couple of days ago, the numbers don't make sense to me. So when I look at the original contract price, so on change order number 4, show an original contract price, then we show how much we are adding to it. For change orders number 1 and 2, which is 291,000-ish. They're saying that those two numbers add up to $11,409,212.90, and that is about $108,000 more than what those numbers actually add up to. And then when you add the additional $5,500 from change order 3, the math ain't mathin', and I'm wondering if there is a mistake or if there's just something that I'm not accounting for. I'm sure it's the latter and not the former, but I would
The
like to look into it.
11,414 plus 290 should be at 11,0705.
It should be $11,301,882.90. But they're showing it as $11,409,212.90.
0, carry a 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7.
It's easy
Just
enough.
doing that in my head, that adds to that.
871 plus 11 is definitely not 212. So I acknowledge that there could be something that I don't understand, but on change order number 4, the math carries through to make sense, but on 3 it does not.
I just did that in my head, that came out. Let's see what the number shows.
Said the original contract price is $11,011,011. That's cute. Plus change orders 1 and 2.
11,414, 773.10.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack this for a math class. That's the last thing anybody wants.
Yeah. Well, I think it puts, if I'm adding 11,414 and the 290, I'm at 11,705.
11,414 minus 290 should be,
11,414 plus 290 is 11,705. Adding those two together.
that's not the way I'm reading this. It should be the original contract price plus the cost of change order 1 and 2 plus the cost of change order number 3. The biggest problem is that middle number there, 11,409. They're saying that the original contract price plus the change order 1 and 2 equals 11,409. And
403 and 11.
there's a typo somewhere.
414.
I'm guessing there's about $107,000 off.
That's what I'm coming up to. I would, there's either there's a typo or somebody is, what's 107,000 between friends?
Which number do you think it is, John? Which number is in error?
It could be any one of the numbers, but the contract price prior to this change order, so the third number down on that front page, there's no set of numbers that you can add together on that page that equal that number. And that's a problem. Now, on the other pages, it does make sense. Like, for instance, on change order 4, you would take the original contract price plus the cost of change orders 1, 2, and 3, and that does equal the $11,414,000.
So if I take, let's walk through it together then. If I start at the top, and we can skip the millions, if I take 11,000 and add 403,000 to that, that adds up to 414,000.
You're looking at
Here,
change
he's
order
on
number
3.
4.
Pardon?
You're looking at change order number 4. We need to be looking at number 3.
What you've added together is 1 and 2, and 3, it says has been included because of this one we just did.
Well, that's the
That could
problem.
be a problem, yeah.
Yeah. If the cost of change order 1 and 2 was $290,871, which is what it says on 3, and we're only adding $5,500 to that, the cost of change order 1, 2, and 3 is not $403,000. It would be, $304,000, give or take.
Well, Ben and I can certainly go through the math and make sure it works, but yes, it appears that it does.
Okay.
1 and 2 is 290,000, yeah.
Then I don't have any question regarding the change order other than I would like to get the math. I'd like to figure out either if the math is right on number 4 or the math is right on number 3. Well, I know it's not right on number 3.
No problem.
But, so I would motion that we approve the change order, but that we also verify where we're at on this.
Well, I did a much larger spreadsheet today for Ben and for the IFA.
Oh, Gary, I don't doubt this at all. I just think that a number probably got transposed somewhere, so.
So motion's been made to approve the change orders with the clarification of where the numbers are on this change order number 3. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, no. Motion carries. So we're in the similar situation with number 5 then.
Again, the math follows through right on here. The break appears to be from 3 to 4, where the cost of the change orders 1, 2, and 3 is listed here as differently than here. So once we figure out what the cost of change orders 1, 2, or 3 is, that'll tell us everything. So this is a minor issue that will be very easy to fix.
If you'd like, give me a moment, I'll walk back and get you a copy of this big spreadsheet or big report we just did, and it gives them in a different order, so it might make it clearer.
It's not necessary for me during this meeting, especially given the time that we have, but I can swing back there
Yeah.
with you.
So this change order number 5, just explanation of what that is. That's an air relief valves that we added at the tops of the pump house. As we tried to build those, you could build air pressure as a resistance, so there's relief valves that were installed. So that's what those are for number 5.
I have no questions on that, and I would motion that we approve that change order number 5.
I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Sewer adjustments tonight, we have 2, 340 South Ohio Street, $254.48, 1149 to 1159 East Gray Street, $226.32. Are there any questions or comments?
No. I would motion that we approve the sewer adjustment applications as presented.
I will second that motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next regular meeting, of the Board of Works and Safety will be on Monday, September, when is that, Mac? 8th. 6:30 here in the council chambers. We are adjourned.
Does it show that I used to be an auditor? I actually really enjoyed that. It is fun to go through the puzzle. Perfect. This doesn't show me 1 or 2.